Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Monday, September 22nd. Got another video for y'all, another upload. The title of this video gonna probably be Why I Don't Watch Wrestling No More and the Racism in the WWE. A lot of people, like in my circle, in real time, family, co-workers, they still watch WWE, but me, I've been cut loose. I want to say the last era of WWE I watched was maybe the PG era, when John Cena was the poster boy. But the era today, and I've been watching this content creator, he been exposing the racism and the unfairness, how they treat black wrestlers. New World Wrestling Order, he a brother, shout out to that brother. NWWO, New Wrestling World Order. He tell it how it is. He's no filter. He go in on a lot of these wrestlers. But yeah, WWE is crappy. I don't watch it. It's like they want to, back then you had it on TV, you had it like on certain channels. Now they want to put their product everywhere. They made a deal with ESPN, I think. I guess Netflix didn't work out for them. Now they trying to collaborate with ESPN now, something like that, because I don't keep up with wrestling no more. Like I say, it's garbage today. The new era is garbage. They always make the black wrestlers be like third string, or they gotta be a buck dancer, a coon, a stereotype. We rarely have black champions. The most they'll let a black man be a champion is a tag champion. Look at the situation with Ron Killings, or aka R-Truth. He back to being a damn buck dancer, a coon. I thought he was gonna shed that off when he cut his hair and all that, allegedly. Man, they don't care about you, R-Truth. Never did. You just they black court jester. And that's what they want. That's what they see us as. They see us as court jesters. They want us to be court jesters. Especially brothers. They either want the brothers to be a court jester or Fruit Loop. Be non-masculine. And I find it ironic that all the so-called wrestlers that was hateful towards black or racist, they act like a black man. Dusty Rhodes, shout out to New Wrestling World Order, because he exposed like a lot of these old school racist wrestlers. They acted black. Hulk Hogan exactly was one of them too. Come on now, wearing a do-rag, talking like, "Oh, what you gonna do, brother, when Hulkamania run rounds on you?" Wearing do-rags, got tan skin. Come on now. I thought y'all supposed to love this so-called fair skin, the so-called pale, fair skin. But y'all tanning y'all skin, trying to look browns like us. Trying to wish y'all could have dark skin like a black person. That's the reason why a lot of these pale folks, they tan their skin. Every summer they go into these tanning salons, trying to tan their skin. I thought y'all skin supposed to be superior, with y'all tanning y'all skin, trying to look dark like a black person. Y'all wish y'all could have that beautiful melanin that the Most High God blesses his people with. That beautiful melanin that comes in all shades of brown, from the darkest of black brown to the lightest, of shade brown, all shades of brown of that beautiful melanin. But back to the main topic. Yeah, I don't support WWE. I don't watch it no more. I don't rock it. Triple H is running the company into the ground. He don't know what the hell he's doing. Talking about he don't see color. Bull crap. That's the number one line a racist see. He don't see color. Trying to justify your buffoonery. But yeah, and let's get on John Cena. This Irish-born Boston boy from Boston, Massachusetts, one of the most racist one of the most racist cities in the north. Boston, Massachusetts. He was successful on cosplaying as a black man, as a black rapper. How about that? Made a few whack albums, trying to be a Timu version of Eminem. You know, I guess Vince McMahon got the idea, oh, we're gonna make him be a rapper. So he been successful cosplaying as a black person, a black man, a black rapper, John Cena. Make it make sense. So that's let you know they have no flavor naturally. They have no flavor. If you gotta imitate a black man, you know, rapping and all that, dressing like us, wanna be us, you got no flavor. And there's a lot of nationalities that does that. They come to America, they look down on American blacks, you know, look down on them, talk about it, come with the racial slurs, but they want to be like us. They wish they could be us because they know something special about us. And this goes deeper than skin color. They know we are the people of the Most High. I don't care if you don't believe in God or not. You know, even if you believe in another God, your God that you believe in know that black people are the Israelites and they are Yahweh's chosen people. Whether you call them Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yah, you know, the Messiah, Yeshua, Yahusha. If you go talk to any one of these other so-called deities and other belief systems, they gonna acknowledge that probably if it was possible, you know. You better ask the Egyptian gods. You better read the book of Exodus, see what the Most High did to the Egyptian gods. Why them guys didn't fought back when he issued the 10 plagues on Egypt? Come on now, look at Egypt now. Egypt just them pyramids ain't none. All that is some just giant tombstones with no power. You know, same thing with all these ancient ruins in Greece and Rome. Look at the Colosseum. It's rotting away. And it's going to be like that in this society when the Most High judge. But yeah, I don't support WWE. You know, now I don't knock people that still watch wrestling, to each his own, but I just outgrew it. Like I said, the Attitude Era, the new generation, the 80s, you know, back in the 80s, that was the good eras. You know, I was glad to grow up in them eras, you know, like the old school era, the new generation era, like with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Bret Hart was one of my favorite wrestlers back then, you know, until, you know, it's messed up what Vince did to him. The Montreal Screwjob, that was messed up, you know. But yeah, I used to like watching Bret Hart wrestle back then, you know. And then came the Attitude Era. You had Undertaker, The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, you know. Back then, the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, you know. Then you had the PG era, and now you got this modern era. I don't support that crap. Like I said, if I was to turn in and tune into WWE, I probably couldn't even recognize none of these new faces. That's how long it's been since I watched wrestling. But yeah, they don't uplift the black wrestlers like that. Whether it's brothers or sisters that's wrestling. You know, why we don't have a black world champion? Why if they do allow a black man to hold a world champion belt, he ain't gonna hold it for a year. He might hold it. They'd be lucky if he hold it for 90 days. He'd be lucky if they let him hold it for 90 days. Straight up. So I don't support that, man. I don't support WWE. Triple H, you whack. You know, all the promoters, you know, that don't want to promote the brothers and sisters. You know, because these brothers and sisters, they got talent. You know, these modern black wrestlers that's in the business, they got talent. Like I said, I don't know about them, but like I said, I tune into New Wrestling World Order. You know, he keep us informed on the wrestling world. You know, so shout out to that brother, New Wrestling World Order. I'm sure he get a lot of hate mail. He probably get a lot of trolls in the comment sections, but he don't care. He'll cuss them out. That's one thing about that brother. He don't give a damn about your opinion. If you come with some smoke, he gonna give you the smoke. Straight up. They ain't gonna stop his stride. He ain't gonna let no trolls stop his stride. When he critiquing the WWE, he got a right to express himself how he feel about the WWE business. And I'm sure there's a lot of content creators that voice their concern about the WWE. You know, you might have some people that support Triple H way of running things, and you're gonna have people that don't support Triple H way of running things. But yeah, Triple H, you know, you just a whack. You whack, bro. You whack. But yeah, WWE, man, it sucks. You know, I hear good things about AEW. You know, some people tune into AEW, but I think it's stupid how they have WWE on all these networks. You know, they was on what? They on Paramount? What? Peacock era? They got so many damn TV networks Now they on ESPN. They was on Netflix. Go back to the old ways of doing things. That's why I miss when it used to be on cable TV. You know, you had on USA, like Raw used to come on USA, and SmackDown used to come on WBN. You know, local channels. Now you gotta have these streaming services to catch everything. It's all about making money off of people. That's what it's all about. I'll be damned if I'm gonna pay for like 5 or 6 different streaming services just to watch WWE, man. That's madness. That's straight up madness. You paying for crap because you ain't getting good quality no more. It's garbage. You know, that's a waste. You wasting money on these streaming services and these subscriptions. Straight up. But yeah, the only way you be successful in the WWE as a black man or black woman, you gotta be a stereotype. You gotta be a coon. You gotta buck dance. You gotta juck and jive and all that nonsense. You can't be upfront. You can't be masculine. You know, if you're a black woman, they're gonna use you as a sex symbol. You know, it's like that with all women, but you know. And we know what goes on behind closed doors. You know, they exploit these women in the business, you know, because women are vulnerable, you know. And some women are desperate. Not all, but some are desperate. And they will do anything to degrade their character to get that paycheck. Look at these Instagram models. They go get fly out by these deranged men in Dubai. They go to Dubai and they do all kind of egregious stuff to them, you know, for a paycheck. I'm just saying, you know, the world is wicked. You know, there's a lot of shady things go on in this world. You know, for those that know, they know. Straight up. But yeah, I don't support WWE. I've been stopped watching wrestling. You know, people ask me every once in a while, you still watch wrestling? No, I don't. I've been stopped watching. It's probably been, let's see. It's definitely probably been over, probably over a decade since I stopped watching wrestling. Probably a decade and a few years. You know, because it's just no entertainment no more. It's just no more quality, you know. No more quality. Now, I'm sure I probably got people in my family that still watch, you know, relatives, but hey, I don't fault them for that. You know, if I go over to one of my relatives' house and they watching wrestling, I'll watch it with them. Same thing with any sports, you know. But I'm just saying, it ain't the same no more. And they don't do the black wrestlers justice. They don't do them justice. They make them play a stereotypical role. They gotta be fruity. They gotta be a court jester. I'm just saying, they gotta be a court jester. They can't be serious. They can't be ruthless. They can't be upfront. Look at Stone Cold Steve Austin. We love Stone Cold. All people love the Stone Cold Steve Austin. They had him play the role of the badass, beating up the boss, beating up your boss on a job. You know, taking no crap from nobody. How many men wish they could beat up their boss on a job and get away with it or get paid for it? I'm just saying, you know, the character Stone Cold played, you know, he was the badass, you know, taking crap from nobody. I mean, no holds barred, just doing what he want. Coming up, showing up in a ring with beer, you know, drinking beer on the top ropes, you know, cussing, showing people the middle finger. They won't dare allow a black man to have that role of a badass. They would never, you know, just come out there not giving a crap, you know, telling people off, you know, cussing people out, you know, just being a man. They're not going to allow that. They would never allow that because the white racist fragility is going to make them insecure. You know, how that term they got, white racist fragility. You know, fragile. They fragile, man. They got fragile egos. A lot of these white races, they got fragile egos, and that's the truth. Whether they racist or not, they got fragile egos as a whole. You know, because if they didn't have fragile egos, and they really were sure of themselves, they won't have John Cena acting black. You know, I find it ironic. All the other groups act black, but black people can't act black. They can't act true to themselves. Look how they got the Samoans acting black, the Samoan wrestlers. You know, I heard, you know, that's another thing New Wrestling World ought to touch base on, how they be having Samoans acting black. But the normal black people can't act black. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's why I'm just saying, and it's funny. John Cena cosplaying as a black man, cosplaying as a black rapper, and he got success. Because they already know if he would have stayed being the Boston boy, wearing the short wrestling trunks, the plain wrestling trunks, he probably won't even blew up. But soon as Vince McMahon gave him the idea, okay, well, you're going to be Thugonomics, word life, Thugonomics, then hustle and respect and all that, went from that. And boom, that's how he made a success, playing as a black man. I find that's crazy. You're going to get this white boy from Boston, Massachusetts, shit, to play a black man. I'll tell you, this crazy, boy. That's a mental illness. Like I say, it's a mental illness these folks have. I always did say that. They always want to say, oh, black people, y'all need to stop playing the race card. Well, white people, y'all need to stop playing the mental illness card. And what I mean by that, because y'all claim y'all hate black people. Y'all racist towards us. Y'all can't stand us, but yet y'all want to beat us at the same time. I thought if you're supposed to hate a group of people and you want to avoid being around these people, you can't stand them, why you want to act like them? Because if you hate something, you're going to avoid trying to act like it. You're going to avoid, you ain't going to support what they do. Because you got a lot of these racists, they still listen to hip hop music. Their grandchildren, all their children, they still listen to hip hop music. They might even date a black person, just to get their black fantasy, bad buck, bad wench fantasy, because that's on every white person's bucket list, whether they admit it or not, to sleep with a black person. The devil is alive. They say, oh no, I'm not attracted. Even the ones that claim they're not attracted to black people, they still will sleep with a black person if they had the opportunity. And that's real talk. That's real talk. They want to try the forbidden fruit. Like they see the forbidden fruit. But yeah, that's on every white person's bucket list. I don't care what walks of life they come from, to have that experience laying down with a black person, whether it's a black man or a black woman. They may not admit it, but in their hearts of hearts, they know. Like I say, the devil is alive. They say no, the devil is a damn lie. For sure, the devil is a lie. But anyway, yeah, that's just my little rant on the WWE. I don't support that garbage no more. They don't do the black wrestlers justice, and I don't miss watching it, because, and they don't get me started on Undertaker, man. Undertaker, he another sellout too, old ass simp. He another old simp, Undertaker. Did his friend dirty on that podcast. You gonna ditch your buddy, man, to have your wife on a podcast, Screw you, Undertaker, man. You got soft, bro. That's why I say, man, a lot of these wrestlers we grew up watching, we thought they was tough and badass. It seems like when they get older, they get simpish. Man. Come on, Taker. You're supposed to be the dead man. You're supposed to know better than that. But anyway, man, I'm going to go ahead and cut this video short, man. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.